Hi, welcome to our Mary's Place moment. My name is Dominique Alex, and I'm the CEO at Mary's Place. We are a nonprofit organization in King County where we ensure that no child sleeps outside by centering equity and opportunity for women and families. And today I am here to talk about a new exciting dream that's coming true with a friend of ours. So before I get there, just a little bit about Mary's Place and what we do. We are addressing the family homelessness crisis in King County, where we are using our three-pronged approach. And our first prong is our family emergency shelter, where we provide overnight shelter for families with wraparound services. Our second prong is our mobile outreach program, where our specialists meet families in their cars, their tents, wherever they're at in our community to provide services and a direct pathway into housing. And our third prong is our prevention, where we're providing rental assistance to keep families in their hard won homes and stop those generational cycles of homelessness on children. So, for our Mary's Place moment today, I'm really excited to talk about a dream that we've had that is under construction right now in the Burien area. And I am joined today by a friend and partner, Joe Thompson from Mercy Housing Northwest, and he is the president. And we are going to tell you all about the goodness coming our way right here in our hometown. So, I would like to introduce Joe so he can tell us a little bit about Mercy Housing and all the wonderful things you all are doing over there.
So I am the president of Mercy Housing Northwest, and Mercy Housing, first and foremost, we create places. We create places for people um, where they feel supported and have the ability to be their best and really to thrive. And yes, we build things too. We build beautiful buildings. Um, but really, those buildings are really just a foundation for the other things that we do. And those other things we do are resident services. And again, those services paired with that stable base of the housing makes for the potential for amazing things to happen for families.
I think we're both in the business of bringing community together, providing that stability and those services that you speak to, but also creating opportunities for children and families to thrive. So I'm really excited to talk about our project. This is our third partnership with Mercy Housing. And so Mary's Place has been operating a shelter that was in Burien in an old hospital. And we had an opportunity for the first time at one of our forever homes, which is a property we were able to purchase with the help of the public and private um, support in our community. And when we were dreaming, it was always to have a shelter for families, but also thinking about how do we provide stability on the same campus with affordable housing. And so we have partnered with you all to build that new shelter with 200 beds, with supportive services where kids can come in with their families and have kids club or have those health services that they really need to create that stability. But now we have this opportunity to partner with you all to really think about this pathway from shelter and that moment of crisis to stability and to affordable housing. So I wonder if you could talk a little bit about this opportunity we have together and what that affordable housing that you all will be building on our campus means to our community.
When I started talking about Mercy, I said so much of what we do is create places, and this is really creating a place in Burien um, that allows families to to sink roots in their community and to grow in that community and not have that be disrupted again by yet another move. And as a person who's moved a few times in my own life, and it has a lot of resources, I also know how hard it is to start over and to make those relationships again. And I think one of the exciting things about this is folks will have those relationships and that they've created in that community and have those be able to build towards something in their lives that is even more substantial.
One of the things is this is an opportunity to do a both and. There is a big crisis in our community where our emergency intake line that we operate in King County is getting between 50 and 60 calls every day. And those are families seeking emergency shelter, but only one or two of those families are coming in a week because the crisis is so big and all the shelters are at capacity. So we will be addressing more shelter beds, but the root cause of homelessness, one of them that we know, is that there's not enough affordable housing in this area. And so this opportunity to say, yes, we can help you in this moment of crisis, but also there's an opportunity to have that stability. And so we can do both in this community, and that is what families need. And so I'm really proud to say that we're doing that together.
Yeah, thanks, Dominique. So am I. And because there is not really any of that large family housing being built on the open market, it becomes even more critical in that sort of nonprofit affordable realm that we do that. And it's a big part of what Mercy does, and it's a big part of what this project is going to be about. When there's scarcity in those types of units, it makes it even harder for families. It drives the cost of those units up even more. It causes families to double up, to triple up, and it causes a lot of families to become homeless. And that's one of the things that is so exciting to me about this project is majority of the units are going to be for large families. So
Yeah. That's one of my favorite features about what you all have in your building. And I will say on that, we have families that can be 10, 12 people sometimes because we bring in families sometimes that are multi-generational and their pets. And so that's one of the features at Mary's Place. And so placing those families can be difficult because there just aren't enough units. And so it's really exciting when we sat down to talk about like what's possible, listening to our families, looking at data that said, this is who we're serving, this is what the need is, that you all were responsive to that. And so if you could talk a little bit about the size of the units that you guys have prioritized, I think that would be super awesome. You talked about 2 bedrooms, but there's some bigger ones than that you are
yeah,
building.
yeah. So a majority of the units are what we call family sized, and by that there's 2 bedrooms, but there's threes, and there's some 4 bedroom units at this project in Burien. The other thing, because we don't want to just build a collection of apartments, we want to build community, and we want to build spaces that foster a sense of community. And so one of the things I'm really excited about with our project is the community spaces it's going to have. And our building, we create spaces where folks can gather, spaces where folks can cook together, and be social. We have spaces where where our resident services folks, which I feel like I have probably not talked about enough because that's such a big thing of what part of what we do, um, can provide classes and other kinds of opportunities for folks, and then spaces where kids can play together. And again, so we're not in the just in the business of building apartments. We're in the business of creating community.
Yes. I love that, and community will do together. Okay, so I am wondering, as one of my last questions is, what kind of impact do you hope to see come out of our shared campus here as we look to our future?
Well, first and foremost, uh, I I want the families who will call that home, um, to love it. I want them to be able to thrive there. I want them to be able to not just uh, not just have stability, but to have success, to be able to dream big dreams, and to be able to achieve those dreams. And I have seen that time and time again in those 38 years I've been doing this. Um, I think in doing that, um, we can demonstrate the importance and the practicality of this kind of a model. And and that we can create a model that is replicable, not just in King County, but across the country. I feel like this project has an important story to tell, and I look forward to being able to tell it. And frankly, the other thing I'm really hoping out of this project is that there's a fourth partnership with Mary's Place, that's even bigger and grander, because we've been working on a pretty great tradition together.
That, well, I'm all for it, and I appreciate, that we've worked through multiple projects now and keeping our missions aligned and at the center of everything we do as our North Star to build more stability. But I think you said something about dreaming bigger dreams. I think also allowing our families to be partners with us to dream those dreams together and create a world that we all need and deserve, and that community we're building reflects our values and the things that kids need to be in and about as they grow up and take over our jobs one day.
Yeah, again, in those 38 years, I've seen a few of those happen. And, one of the exciting things is when that does happen. And, either, um, I was thinking, in preparing for this, I was thinking just about, some of the meaningful things. And, one of them, education is really an important thing for me. And I think it holds the power of really generational change for the families that we serve. I was thinking of a, a young woman I met who was in one of our out of school time programs, who was about ready to be the first person to graduate high school in her family. And 4 years later, she became the first person to graduate college. And a few years after that, uh, she she graduated with a master's degree from Columbia University, and she is working in this space, doing amazing things. And I, it's she'll probably have my job in a lot faster than the 38 years it took me to get it. So, because she's brilliant. And I think about people, I think about stories like that, and it's not just a story, it's a real life, and it's a real life that is not just forever changed, but every person that life comes in contact with is going to be forever changed because of it. Um, and I can't believe I get to do this. And I can't believe, sorry, I'm stuttering here because it's hard for me. I can't believe I get to be witness to this. And I feel so incredibly fortunate to be able just to be witness to that, um, and to see to get to see the good that comes from it, because I really do believe um, that the good we do gets amplified, um, by the folks that it impacts.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible impact at Mary's Place when someone gets ready to exit. They get their keys, and it's a huge celebration, and they fill all of their things into a big cart and they're loading up. But I'm really excited to see families just be able to walk across our walkway. And um, actually, the story that you were talking about, we see family stories often from that moment of crisis to getting that opportunity to have more of a stable life outside of shelter or our outreach program. But what we will see is the opportunity to see people thrive in the space right across the way where those relationships are still intact. And I think that's really a testament to why partnership really works, like the ones that we have, Joe, between Mercy Housing and Mary's Place and the heroes that are on the front line every day. It's the staff that really make this mission move across our agency. So I'm excited to see that multiply, and then watching people, I also think, come back to our agencies to work and give back in ways that I could never give back in the way that they do, but that's really exciting too. So I look forward to doing more of that with you and the teams.
It's also really day one um, in in that building becoming a community um, that really is. Um, it's really day one in that building becoming a community that is going to be a supportive community. Um, that's going to be a community that gathers, that celebrates, and that dreams big.